All right, I think that's live. All right. Well, happy Wednesday. Welcome in to my channel. I'm Professor L and hosting a live stream for math help. So if you are out there and you have a math problem you'd like to see worked, you are more than welcome to put that in the chat and I will work it for you live in real time. In the meantime, I am going to be working on my board and just practicing solving and just basically presenting math. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rework the problem I did yesterday just because I got it wrong. And I spent some time in my spare time today. I found the solution through the Gauss-Jordan Elimination method. And so what I want to do is I want to work it one more time on the board and hopefully I can shorten my steps. So thank you for watching and yeah, hope everyone's doing well today. Happy Wednesday. All right. And we'll erase this because it's not the right solution. And I'll go ahead and put the correct solution up here. And so we can be fully transparent. And I do apologize for the ones out there that want to see it perfect the first time. That's not really what my live stream is about. I'm just hanging out and working on my board and seeing if there's anyone out there that needs help. Is offering this time and space for potential students. And so I hope that I am setting a good example for students that want to learn math and get familiar with it. Math, if you're expecting to be perfect, it's not going to work out for you. It's not your subject because it will show your flaws, but it's important to keep going. Yeah, just keep working at it. And I always say, if at first you don't succeed, try again. And that's what we're doing tonight. So, yeah, happy Wednesday. All right, so the correct solution is -1, 1, and that was 2. Yeah, 2. And I did check this one, and we will check it also. And I want to count my steps and see how many steps. Let's see, I worked this one 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 steps for this one. So it was a little challenging. All right, so here we go. And I'm going to try to do this really concise because that is the goal. So I'm just going to set up so again, we're using the Gauss-Jordan Elimination method. And I'm going to set up my augmented matrix. And I'm going to try to write it smaller. So we've got 1, just listing the coefficients. 1, 1, 3, 6. And then the second row, 1, 2, 4, 9. And 2, 1, 6, 11. Okay. And I do admit that this one was a little bit challenging, but we'll just see how it goes. The very first thing I did, I remember my first step, is I multiplied row 1 by -2. And then I added it to row 3. So we'll start there. So we'll say -2 row 1 plus row 3. Then try to make this number right here a 0 or this one a 0. So we're going to start with this one being 0. So we're actually going to replace row 1 and see how fast I can solve this one. All right, so we've got -2 times the entire row 1, -2, -6, and then -12. And I'm going to be very careful to make sure I don't make any mistakes here. 1, 2, 4, 9. And what I mean by mistakes is actual arithmetic errors. Because really with matrices, all you're doing is you're adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing in some order, not necessarily that order. So remember the elementary row operations. You're swapping out the rows. You can add any two rows and you can multiply any row by a scalar, which is just a number. All right, so we're going to add row 1 and row 3. I think I can fit it in here. And I'm going to replace row 1. So we're going to go ahead and do this addition. So we've got 2 minus 2 is 0. 1 minus 2 is -1. 6 minus 6 is 0. And 11 plus a -12 is -1. And then we'll just repeat these other two rows, 1, 2, 4, 9, and then 2, 1, 6, 11. All right, perfect. So I'm going to take this matrix and figure out my next best step. And if I add row 1 and row 3, I can make this number 0. I'm trying to think if that's the next best thing to do. Because again, we're trying to solve it in as least amount of steps as possible. Yeah, let's see. Well, we'll just go ahead and do it. So we're not gonna multiply anything. We're just going to add row 1 and row 2. So we'll put that in here. Row 1 plus row 3 rather. And we'll replace row 3. Let's see what happens. So we'll just write these first two rows in here because we're replacing row 3. So we got 0, -1, 0, -1, 1, 2, 4, 9. And then we've got 0 plus 2 is 2. 1, -1 plus 1 is 0. 0 plus 6 is 6. And -1 plus 11 is +10. Right. So I noticed that this one is almost solved. We're going to go ahead and multiply row 1 by a +1. Before we do that, let's go ahead and add it to row 2 now, because if I do that, it's going to put a 1 here. Hang on a second. Let me just pause for a moment, see if there's a better next step. Okay, I think what I want to do now is I'm going to divide. Okay, so I'm going to multiply everything by a -1 here, and I'm going to divide off the 2 at the third column. So multiply by 1/2 the scalar. So we're just going to do that math here. So -1 times 0 is 0, -1 times -1 is 1, -1 times 0 is 0, -1 times -1 is 1. Copy down row 2, so it's 1, 2, 4, 9. And then we're going to multiply everything by 1/2, so this becomes a 1, this one's a 0, 1/2 times 6 is 3, and 1/2 times 10 is 5. Just to kind of simplify things a little bit. I also want to switch these out eventually. So what I need to do now is that did me no good. I need to multiply this one by a -2. So let me back up and do that here and change my mind. So this becomes -2 times 0. This is, wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. I don't want that to be -2. I just want it to be +2. All right, so it's been a long day, so I'll get it right eventually. So 2 times 0 is 0, 2 times -1 is -2, 2 times 0 is 0, and 2 times the -1 is -2. There, that's better, because now I can add that to, I can add row 1 and row 2, replacing row 2, and then I'll make 0 there. So we're going to say row 1 plus row 2 replace row 2. Switch the order and see how that goes. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that one down. 0, -2, 0, -2. And then adding to row 2, we get 0 plus 1 is 1. And -2 plus 2 is 0. And 0 plus 4 is 4. -2 plus 9 is 7. And we got 1, 0, 3, 5. Okay. Now let's go ahead and we can divide off the -1/2 now from that row. And then we're actually going to swap out row 1 and row 2 for now. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to go ahead and say 1, 0, 4, 7. Then we'll have 0, 1, 0, 1. And then finally, we're going to have 1, 0, 3, 5. And looks like I'm pretty close there. I'm going to have to add row 1 and row 2. So we need to make one of these negative. We'll make row 3 -1 now. So we're going to say -1 row 3 plus row 1. And we'll replace row 3. We'll replace row 3. So I'm going to go ahead and copy both those rows down. 1, 0, 4, 7, 0, 1, 0, 1. And then multiplying by -1 here, we're going to get -1, 0, -3, and -5. And then I said add it to row 1, so let's do that now. So we've got 1 plus a -1 is 0. Hang on a second. We're supposed to replace row 3, so let me not get ahead of myself here. 1, 0, 4, 7, 0, 1, 0, 1. And then 1 plus a -1 is 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. And 4 minus 3 is 1. 7 minus 5 is 2. I need to multiply row 2 by a -4. And so I'm going to add to row 1 now. -4 row 3 plus row 1, and we have to replace row 1 this time. So this is not the method that I used to solve it the second time, but it's still going to work out. I'm trying to do it in less than 11 steps. And I think I'm so far there. So let's go ahead and copy these down. 1, 0, 4, 7, 0, 1, 0, 1. And then multiplying the third row by -4, you're going to get 0, 0, -4, and -8. All right, so now all we have to do is add row 1 plus row 3 and replace row 1. And we'll do that one here. All right, so that's going to give me 1 plus 0 is 1. 0 plus 0 is 0. 4 plus a negative 4 is 0. And 7 minus 8. 7 plus a negative 8 is negative 1. And then we've got this row 1, 0, or 0, 1, 0, 1. And then we've got 0, 0, negative 4, negative 8. All right. So now all I have to do, I've got the first 2 rows solved, and I know it's correct because I found the solution earlier. Now I'm just going to divide off, I'm going to make that number 1 by using the reciprocal of negative 4, which is negative 1/4. And so finally, we'll have 1, 0, 0, negative 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, and then we're going to have 0, 0. Negative 1/4 times negative 4 is 1, and negative 1/4 times negative 8 is a positive 2. Perfect. And so here is my solution. Where you write it would say x, y, z, and that equals negative 1, 1, 2. And then in order to check, you take your original system and you make sure that each equation in your system is satisfied by your solution. And you do that by just replacing x with negative 1, y with 1, and z is going to be 2. And so doing that, the first one, with x plus y plus 3z equals 6. So you've got negative 1 plus 1 plus 3 times 2 equals 6. 1 minus 1 is 0, and then you get 6 equals 6. So that one checks. And then doing the second one here, we've got negative 1 plus 2 times 1 plus 4 times 2, and that should equal 9. So we've got negative 1 plus 2 plus 8. So that is going to be negative 1 plus 10 equal 9. So 9 equal 9. So we've got the second one to check. And so we just have one more to check. We've got 2 times x plus y plus 6 times 2 z equals 11. So this is negative 2 plus 1 plus 12 equals 11. So we've got negative 2 plus 13 equals 11. So this one checks out as well. Perfect. And so that's how you would verify if you found the solution, because the solution is unique. There's only one solution at best that will satisfy this system. Then we have verified it, and that's literally how you would determine whether you've solved it or not. So, all right, awesome. I was able to do that in less than 20 minutes, and then I want to count my steps. So count these again. I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, actually 13. And then this time I solved it. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. So I actually solved it in one less step. So that's awesome. And I'm so glad that I fit it on the board. It's much more organized today. It's been an extremely long day for me, and so I'm probably going to cut it short unless, someone has a question. And if not, then I will just say happy Wednesday, and thank you very much for watching my video. I'll sign off and I'll say bye for now. I'll see you all next time.